Hey guys, Farak here. Okay, in today's vlog, I'm going to talk about mainly buffs and nerfs. Before I do that, I want to, let everybody know. I know you guys are spamming me with replays and this and that, and I apologize. I'm in school. It's really difficult, and if I'm lucky, I can get one vlog out a week now. And, hopefully I'll be able to start doing replays again when things calm down. But right now, school is very difficult, and, priorities. Okay. That being said, the TBO, the black one, you can figure out who he is by going to the Battleforge Facebook page or the forum. He told us that approximately once a month we should see a patch. Now, the patches are to fix bugs in the game and stuff of the sort, but they're also to make some changes. For example, now the zoom function, I don't know if you noticed, but it's 25% more, so you can actually zoom out even more and watch more of the fight that's going on during a PvP match or PvE. Aside from that, there are cards that get changed. So in the past, there have been watch lists, and that is that the developers say to everybody on the forum, they say, okay, which cards do you feel are underpowered and or overpowered? Excuse me, and everybody will vote. For example, let's look here. Void Storm. Okay, it used to be 130 power, require only one Shadow Orb, and it was more powerful than it is now. Now it says 1,800. I think it was 2,100. Whatever it was. Basically, for 130 power, you could just click it anywhere on the map, and every single unit would drop dead, like no matter what. So everybody was shouting that should be nerfed. That was actually nerfed twice, and it's still too strong. Sandstorm, it's 230 power, but just about everybody agrees that for 230 power, it basically takes out two wells and an orb. You can't cast spells in it, so you can't shield it with frost spells. It's just too strong. And basically everyone agrees on that. Soul Shatter, aside from doing the bomb, it bombs units as well. If units die, they explode. And that just used to create such a chain reaction that it would be worth it to, suicide your own units under Soul Shatter near the enemy base, and it would just wipe out the entire base. So that was nerfed. Some cards get stronger, as people request. So first of all, for you, it's very good for you to go onto the forums, voice your opinions, and when there are watch lists, let people know how you feel. This time we didn't get a watch list. The developers just sort of snuck around the forum and looked at what cards people were talking about and just did what they wanted. And the result was not pretty. Now, it could have been amazing what they did. The problem is PvP is actually pretty balanced right now. There are a few things that are a little over the top powerful. I mean, Void Storm, like I told you. Dragons, no. Hold on a second. Whisper, sorry, making video. Okay. So cards like I showed you, like Sandstorm and Void Storm, those cards are tremendously overpowered and they'll be dealt with, but these are all tier 3 cards, and most of PvP happens in tier 1 or tier 2, which for the most part are really balanced right now. Like Lost Souls were tremendously overpowered, and a lot of it got nerfed with Nasty and with the Reaver losing hit points. Brannick's still too strong, Grigory's still a little too strong, but these things, they'll happen over time, but they're not crazy, and they can be dealt with. I don't even remember what my train of thought was. Anyhow, so the point is they did a stealth buff now, which is not really stealth, they told us that we can advance, but they didn't listen to everyone screaming. And they buffed thugs. Now, I'm very pro that because, in my opinion, Fire, excluding Sunderer, which I understand you can't just exclude Sunderer, but excluding Sunderer, when there was a fight between Fire and Shadow, you get the idea they're very similar. Let me show you what I mean by similar. Here. So Fire can have thugs, which are small. Fire can have Sunstriders, which are the shooting medium. Fire has the Swift unit, which is the small counter, okay? What does Shadow Tier 1 have? Well, it has Nox also, which is pretty incredible, but let's ignore that for now. It has Dread Charger, let's say Wrath Blades to counter the thugs, and Forsaken. So let's look at the stats. Sunstriders 570, 360. Forsaken 540, 450. So Forsaken right away have much better stats than Sunstriders. They're both small and have medium counters. If they went head-on, Forsaken would win. Plus, Forsaken have this Frenzy ability, where they do 100% more damage. Wrathblades have nearly identical. They are actually weaker than Thugs, but they have this ability which give them 60% more damage, so they can absolutely demolish Thugs. And then Dreadcharger and Scavenger are pretty close. I would say Scavenger wins just because of its crippling bite. So it's a pretty fair matchup. I give the edge a little bit to Shadow. So what I didn't like was that Wrathblades, which can beat Thugs, are 50 power, and Thugs are 60. So the reason Thugs were 60 is because of this Looter ability, which is as they attack buildings, they actually gain power from attacking the buildings, which is a very cool idea. Now, the developers kept seeing people saying, hey, Thugs, fix them. So the developers decided rather than change the power cost, which I would have been happy with, make it 50, it's not such a big deal, they gave Looter to units as well. Which means, listen to how crazy this is. If a single Thugs kills a Wrathblade or a Forsaken, it doesn't even have to kill it, just has to damage it. But if it takes its entire life, which takes, 8 seconds of fighting, it gains 30 or 35% of the unit's power cost. So if I had a Thugs versus Forsaken or Thugs versus Sunstriders, I would gain immediately 17 power, not to Void, straight to my power pool. So it's even worth it to self-sacrifice, Thugs for Wrathblades. They both die. We both get back 90% of our original power spent, plus I'm 17 power up. As a result of this, Fire versus Fire now absolutely needs Thugs, or else they're going to lose versus Thugs. Now Shadow will automatically lose versus Fire because you're just gaining power as you're attacking with Thugs, which already are pretty strong, versus Forsaken spam, which is what most Shadow players do. So it really took a very closely balanced game and destroyed it. And I'm really not happy about it, to the point that I don't think I'm going to be playing ranked PvP anymore until they fix this. It's too not fair for my opponents, and if I'm playing against Fire, it just becomes this. This is what it becomes. Because whether you win or not, you're gaining so much power from your Thugs just attacking. You just Thugs. And it actually, as ridiculous as it sounds, actually works at this point. So, I encourage you. I know you're all going to start using Thugs because I told you this, but don't, because it's going to be nerfed because everyone's shrieking about it. Learn how to play without it. If you want to use one Thugs as a small counter, try not to think about the Looter ability. It's really overpowered, and I don't like it. I don't even know where I'm going with this whole thing. I guess I'm just ranting because I'm pretty upset about what they did to Thugs. And, I sort of like my deck, and now it's... I don't know. Anyhow, they did some nice things. I don't know if I have here. There's Rage Flame. I don't believe I have it on this account. No. Rage Flame it's a pretty nice unit. It's a Stonekin unit, and it costs 160 power to make, and nobody was using it in PvE. So they lowered the power cost to 130 from 160. That's a very good move. It's not PvP, so nobody's going to get upset. Mono Wing. Now here's where it gets sweet. Mono Wing. You think, hey, a bird with 320 health is going to be useless in PvP, but actually versus Fire, this is actually very viable now. It used to be Mono Wing was 300 power, in which case a single eruption would kill a Mono Wing. So if a Mono Wing was even remotely close to a unit, even if you didn't kill the unit, an eruption would be worth it because you'd knock out the Mono Wing. By the way, I know it's the same team. It would knock out the Mono Wing and damage the unit. So eruption made Mono Wing just not worth it. But now, if you play Nature Tier 1 and you're going against the Fire player, Mono Wing is actually a really good card to use now. You're going to have to micro a lot, and that blink ability is just amazing. I think you have to near a friendly unit. It's just a very, very cool card, and it's the only flying unit in Tier 1. So that gives a nice advantage now. I don't remember all the other buffs. Something about Shadow Mage's ability. Nothing really that affected anything. My goodness. Sorry, no, doing a video. I gotta get an automatic response for this. Anyhow, I probably wasted enough of your time. But my main point is, I know you enjoy playing PvP, or, I would really appreciate it if you told your friends and got them to start playing PvE. Last night was terrible. There were only like 4 players in PvE in America. But so please tell your friends to get into Battleforge, get into PvE, and watch these videos. But for you, I want you all to go to the forum, voice your opinions. Even if you think, oh, I'm just a fiend, I'm an archfiend, I don't know what I'm talking about. You'd be surprised. Sometimes I know players who are the top 1, 2 players, and they say stupid things. So your opinion is worth it, and go and voice your opinion on thugs. Talk about how they're ridiculous. And when the next watch list comes, I want to see more people getting involved and more people voting on cars, because the more people we have, the more balanced the game will be. Right now, there are like, what, 20 people in the entire Battleforge who actually vote on cards, at least in the English section, which means like the whole fate of all 2,000 players or whatever is based on a few players who actually visit the forums. Guys, get into it. Go to the forum, voice your opinions, start threads, get into it. And in the forums, by the way, I'm not Farak, I'm Carrot Man with a K. Don't ask why. It's a pretty strange story. But anyhow, all right. See you guys in the next video. And yeah, one more thing about those replays. I mean, just please don't be offended if I don't do them. I have my own replays, and I just can't find time because I'm really exhausted with school. All right, I gotta go. Have a great day, guys.